Welcome to an LMC community conversation with our municipal leaders about COVID-19 and the effect on our community. We are live. We're taking your questions. Go to Facebook Live or email LMC-TV@lmctv.org. And we're joined by Town of Mamaroneck Supervisor Nancy Seligson, Village of Larchmont Mayor Lorraine Walsh, and Village of Mamaroneck Mayor Tom Murphy. Thank you guys for joining us. I want to start with talking about the people in our community who might be ill, who've tested positive or who are on quarantine or isolation. Do you guys get those numbers?
We do. Each municipal official got a secure login to a sheet. We get daily notifications. We log in and it gives us all the information about confirmed cases. That's so that we can be sure that the first responders know if they have to go make a call to a home, they can take the proper protocol.
So you know which homes have people with COVID-19?
Correct, but we're not allowed to divulge that information, and certainly we don't even share the names of the individuals, only the street address.
I'd like to point out that the list lags behind. You know,
Yes.
that it usually takes a reported case a few days to actually get on the list. And then there are a lot of folks who are exhibiting COVID-19 symptoms who can't get tests yet. And, you know, they're self-quarantined, so they don't get on the list. So I think that the safest thing to tell people and to get out there is to treat everybody that you come into contact with like they have COVID-19. We get caught up sometimes in kind of the box scores of how many each community has. But I think what's really important is to treat every person that you come in contact with like they're a potential vector.
Tom, I think that's really important to stress because, you know, in the early days, we were being told that the majority of transmission was from symptomatic people, but it becomes more clear as we've gone through this that a lot of transmission happens from asymptomatic people as well. So just keep that in mind.
We have seen the numbers go up though, as they report them to us on a daily basis. And we all had to sign non-disclosure agreements so that we were able to get this information, since it was clearly highly classified according to the HIPAA laws in the country.
But am I correct that approximately between the three municipalities right now, the numbers are at about 120, although it's underreported?
Yes, I think so.
That
deaths?
sounds about right.
Has everyone been okay, recovered or hospitalized, but no deaths that you know of?
Oh, there have been deaths.
There have been.
Yes.
There's a question that's come in via email, and that is regarding first responders in the tri-municipal area and whether or not they are equipped with PPE, you know, personal protective equipment.
We are very lucky that we do have enough personal protective equipment for all of our first responders and emergency responders at this time, which is very fortunate, and we're very pleased about that.
So that's for if they go to someone's home, but if they stop someone on the street, are they still prepared with equipment? You know, if they get pulled over for a moving violation or something.
They have masks and gloves. The police officers in the vehicles, the masks usually go, if they're going to put someone in the car with them, the mask goes to the person in the car to protect the officer.
And I think all the police departments are using discretion and not making as many stops as they maybe normally would make, just so that there won't be as much contact with the public. Because your problem with the police department, all three of us have, is that, you know, if an officer or two officers get exposed and then they go back to the station house, you could infect the whole shift.
Right.
And it's not like there's a lot of redundancy around here. So if you infect the whole shift,
there is so much less traffic and so much less activity going on in the communities that there also is less need to do that kind of patrolling.
So let's talk about why there's so much less, which is the message you all want to get across about social distancing. What's the big thing you want people to know? Stay home?
Yes,
Tom?
stay home. Unless you have an absolute reason for going out that has to happen, stay home.
Stay
You know,
home.
if you're not an essential employee, stay home. You know, if you know, you can go for a walk, you can go for a jog, but do it by yourself or with an intimate family member.
I think it's really important to let people know, many people do know, but to emphasize that when you're out going for some air and some exercise, stay within your family unit. The people you live with, you know, you're already sharing all these germs with them, but don't get families together. Don't put kids together in play groups. Don't have birthday parties. I know it's really a hard thing to do, but we're seeing a lot of interesting transmission stories from around the country. And I think that if we're lax and we think that, you know, the kids can play together because even if they get sick, they probably won't get, you know, very sick, you know, that might not be true, but they're also potentially going to pass it along to people who will have a very bad outcome.
We have another email question regarding construction and whether or not that's permitted at private residence. And if not, where are those violations supposed to be reported?
So the last Friday, the governor issued an executive order that banned construction unless in very certain circumstances, and that would be emergencies and essential services, which include water infrastructure and sewer infrastructure. So private construction has been prohibited now. And the way that's being enforced is that neighbors are calling our police departments and letting us know that there are folks still conducting construction, and the police department goes out, lets them know that there is this new executive order, which is the law of the land as of right now, and ask them to please stop.
Yeah.
And so far in the town of Mamaroneck, I can say that everyone has complied.
We've had our building inspector and building department reaching out to all the open permit holders.
Yeah.
The order did allow for an emergency situation in terms of construction, and also to make sure that the project could be brought to a place where it could be closed up for safety. So some projects are continuing through today or even tomorrow, just to get to a point where they can be safely closed up. You know, you don't want to leave certain things hanging open.
And also, if you have a plumbing problem or an electrical problem in your house, you can bring in a skilled trade like that to fix it, because, you know, we don't want to have people have a ground or a short in their house and not fix it when we have a fire. And obviously, if your plumbing is not working, that's an emergency.
And I assume it's the same if, for example, your washing machine breaks down, someone can come fix that, or your roof has a leak.
If your roof has a leak, if your washing machine breaks down, use your sink. I would think.
Well, let's get to another thing that we've been asked, a question that's come up a lot. It has to do with the landscaping. What's allowed and what isn't allowed?
That's the $1 million question.
Yeah, and we've been talking about this for several weeks now, and asking both the state and the county for guidance. And Lorraine has really been spearheading that for all of us.
So the final word, as told to us just this morning, is that only maintenance landscaping is allowed. The idea of landscaping as an essential business is that there are things they do which prevent pests from coming to the house. So if you have an overgrown lawn, you might get mice and pests along the house. So that's okay. You can have your lawn mowed, you can have pest control done, but cosmetic landscaping, new plantings, redos of your landscaping, you know, that cannot happen because it's not essential.
Can it be done if you do it yourself? Because so many people here are in fact gardeners themselves.
You can do it yourself, but they just changed as well the qualifications for what's an essential agriculture business and horticulture. And nurseries now can only sell plants that are for food. So it might be difficult to go purchase plants and flowers to do it yourselves.
Be
Okay,
good
so-
for you to put in a crop.
Right.
Your
Plant
victory garden. You
farming
need to
or
plant your
food.
victory garden.
Right, farming our food.
Yeah.
In addition, though, we have in the town, and I know in the village of Larchmont as well, prohibited leaf blowers at this time in an effort to just try and help folks who are homebound, and everyone's at home now, either trying to work or homeschool their children or taking advantage of our beautiful community and being outside. And we think that in this stressful time, it's best to not have the leaf blowers going.
Okay.
Right.
I'd like to get back to the parks and the outdoor activities for a moment, because there have been a lot of reports on social media of groups still gathering at places in all three municipalities, a lot of them teenagers, but not exclusively teenagers. What do you want the general public to do when they see that?
Well, you know, I think we have to understand that there's no such thing as perfect compliance, right? And we have put up in our town, and I'm sure you guys have too, large signs telling people
Yes.
the social distance. We all put it out in all of our communications every day. I guess if you know, I know our police department, when they see large gatherings, they give them a lecture about social distancing. And most times people comply. I think teenagers are drawn to each other, and it's a hard habit to break. But I think that, you know, I think our job is repetition, repetition, repetition. And I think what's happening in the news reinforces our repetition, because people see, you know, that this is getting more serious by the hour. And social distancing is an affirmative action you can take to protect yourself and to protect the community. So
Are there plans?
I think it's getting better.
Yeah.
Are there plans to ticket or charge people for violating this social distancing rules?
Well, the police have the ability to issue public nuisance and disorderly conduct tickets based upon the governor's order. But so far, our approach has really been to just stop, talk, warn, because I think that's probably going to be the most effective method.
I do think that most people are getting the message more and more. We see our supermarkets now taking it more seriously. You know, when you're walking on the trails or out on the streets, people are keeping that distance. And it's becoming more socially acceptable, I would think, with everyone.
You know, I was in Florence Park in the village of Mamaroneck this afternoon, and you could see small family units dispersed, you know, kicking a ball around, trying to fly a kite. And then when I was walking on a path, if someone was coming in the other direction, they would get off the path on their side, and I would get off the path on the other side,
Right.
and
Right.
just give a wave. And you know, so I think it's permeating, but it's not natural. You know, I had somebody a week ago try and shake my hand, and I reacted like they were coming at me with a machete.
Yeah, I wonder if handshaking will go by the way after this whole.
Right, we just start to bow to each other.
As the virus spreads, it's probably not all that surprising that many of the essential businesses we have here, like supermarkets and post office, have had employees test positive. And that's raised a lot of concern for residents. What should we know and what should we do when going to the store or the post office or getting our mail?
Well, there are protocols for them to respond to that by a deep cleaning and sanitizing of the building. And there's been a lot of effort to go toward that. And that is the protocol. So they are following that, and that then allows them to continue to operate. So people should know that it's not being treated as a minor incident. You know, the building is closed and truly cleaned and sanitized.
In terms of mail, I never would have thought of such a thing a week ago, but since the virus can live on paper and cardboard for up to 24 hours, the Meridian Health out of New Jersey issued some guidance, and I put that out in an email blast on how to handle your mail. So we're taking it in now and putting it on a bench in our entry hall and leaving it until the next day. When, you know, and anything that comes in doesn't go on the kitchen counter like it used to, you know. I mean, just you have to think a little bit. You don't have to be, you know, I don't think we want people to panic, but think a little bit about where you're putting things in your home and how you're touching them.
We have another question that came in from the public regarding the plastic bag ban and whether or not there's something that we can do temporarily locally to reverse that.
Let me just add in there that some of the stores don't want you bringing your own bags or make you do your own bagging if you bring your own bag.
Yeah,
Right.
they are. So the plastic bag ban has been successful in the sense that it went into effect, at least in the town of Mamaroneck, December 1st, and stores have converted over to paper bags, or most people are bringing their bags. Reusable bags are not the source of coronavirus. You know, they are not the number one culprit, and people have been encouraged to clean out their bags even before coronavirus. That is something that you should always do. I think that going back to plastic bags is going to make us so much safer, or is going to help us in any way, because the plastic is the problem. So I know people are making, trying to make a fuss about it and bringing it up as another additional issue, but everything that's going into those bags has already been touched by multiple people and needs to be washed anyway. So I still think that the reusable bags are a reasonable alternative, and they are still the law in the community.
I agree.
So do I.
Okay, so no change to the plastic bag ban.
No.
What public services are ongoing, and what offices are open in all of your jurisdictions? Like, you know, courts, licensing, permits, the building department, tax department, roads and construction. What's open and what isn't?
The New York court system was one of the first to just do an across the board close down. And it was for 90 days. So, or 45 days rather.
25.
So the courts right now, the courts have been closed, and they're closed until, I believe at this point, May 5th. And that could change. People can still pay parking tickets online if they want, if they wish to. But all court hearings have been adjourned to May 5th. And then in the village of Larchmont, of course, the police and fire is still operating. The DPW is still operating. We've separated shifts and put them in different locations so they're not all working together, to try to reduce them being in one place in tight quarters. Village Hall is open only by appointment, and staff is alternating days in. So in 1 week, the building department might be open 3 days a week. The next week it's open 2 days a week. Same for the clerk. You know, there are certain functions that we have to continue to offer, and those we are continuing to offer. Parking permit.
What about the village of Mamaroneck?
It's basically the same. What we have done also is we are not charging for parking on the avenue anymore. We are not doing alternate side of the street parking, so you don't have to move your car, since everybody's home. And you know, we want to give people a little less angst in their life. You know, the police department is still operating. They've changed shifts so that if there was a problem with officers having to take off, they would still be able to populate the shifts. DPW, the same thing. They're starting at different times so that there's not all the workers starting at the same time. So there's a stagnation of who's in the locker rooms at the same time. We're cleaning extensively all our buildings, all our locker rooms, trying to stay on top of this. But you know, we're not doing interior inspections in the building department. We'll do exterior inspections. I believe Village Hall is open 1 day per week by appointment. Village Hall staff is mostly working from home. Our staff is being rather efficient working from home. I really want to applaud the flexibility that staff has shown, and the amount of work that they're doing is incredible considering what they have to juggle, and a lot of them are facing situations in their own life that are difficult, having children at home instead of at school, having to worry about parents and other relatives who might be ill at this time. So I want to thank all of them for the extraordinary effort that the municipal employees have given in this crisis.
Nancy, what's going on in the town?
In the town, we have closed the town center on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So it's open by appointment on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. We have 50% of the staff working on any given day. Except for police, fire, and ambulance are at full complement in those departments. But we are trying to separate folks as much as possible to reduce the possibility of contamination. And in the Sanitation Commission, which is for both Larchmont and Mamaroneck, we have staggered start times for the sanitation workers so they aren't all together in the sanitation building or locker room area. And we have moved to curbside pickup for garbage. There is no back door or side door pickup any longer, so that it is less intrusive for the sanitation workers, and it allows us to have fewer men on the trucks because it's a faster way to pick up the garbage.
Okay. Can we talk, what I'd like to shift to now is the financial impact of this pandemic on our community. I mean, you guys are, I think, in the middle of budgeting, expecting revenues or collecting taxes.
Right. So the two villages are in the middle of budget season. We have to adopt our final budget by May 1st. A few weeks ago, we had what I called, was a beautiful budget put together under the tax cap, lots of capital projects. It really looked good. We were really proud of that. We've spent a couple of years getting everything into the right place to have a budget in that that looked like that. But we're looking at drastic reduction in revenue from sales tax, from possibly mortgage tax, from building department permits, parking permits, parking fines because nobody's been driving, et cetera. And we don't know really how this is going to play out. We don't know how long this is going to last and how long those effects are and how deep they're going to be. So it's really hard for us to figure it out. We have to just project out sort of a medium case scenario, cut our capital projects, and we'll just move ahead. But it's not easy.
Yeah, I agree. This is, any budget that we pass now is going to be speculative because we have no idea what the revenue is going to be. We know it's going to be off. We know it's going to be way off.
As will be your share from the county, I assume.
Well, the county
sales tax.
Sales tax on a per capita basis. So sales tax, a lot of it is based upon gasoline. Gasoline prices are falling. People are driving a lot less. Obviously, people aren't going to restaurants. 6 million people filed unemployment claims last week. A lot of them, are from this area. It's going to be really hard. These are unprecedented times. Municipalities are going to be faced with decisions that no elected official has been faced with since probably 1930. So we're going to, luckily we're in a good position because we do have reserves. That'll be the saving grace. Hopefully when this is over, the economy bounces back as quickly as it fell, but we all know that usually isn't the case. So it's going to be, a testing time for every community. Folks are going to have to adapt to maybe things changing. But I obviously don't have those decisions now, and neither does Nancy and neither does Lorraine. But the public needs to know that, this is a trying time for every municipality. What we're going to concentrate on doing is providing the essential services to keep everybody safe and to keep everybody healthy.
Nancy,
We passed our budget in December as per state law as a town. And we had a town board meeting last night and actually reviewed what we projected changes in our budget. And we looked at reducing revenues quite a bit and eliminating or at least postponing the capital projects, which means the investments we were going to make in infrastructure or big purchases. Anything that needs extra cash from the town operating budget is going to be put on hold at this point. We've asked the staff to just basically eliminate any kind of purchases unless they're absolutely necessary. But we also are fortunate that we have had a fund balance replenishment plan going on for really 10 years, and we're in very strong condition with our fund balances and surplus. So we know that the town of Mamaroneck is going to survive this horrible economic downturn, but it's going to be at a great cost to our budget and to our ability to really do some great proactive programs.
Nancy, in the middle of all this, the county and municipality tax bills went out. And I know that the county executive is talking about possibly allowing people for economic hardship reasons to delay payment of their county taxes. Can you update us on what's going on and whether the towns may or may not follow suit?
Yes, the towns are charged with collecting both town and county taxes at this time, and they're due April 30th. The county executive has put forth a proposal to delay that payment for 3 months or allow folks due to hardship to delay that payment. The bill is a law. It would have to go to the County Board of Legislators and would take several weeks to enact. The town supervisors throughout the county are concerned about the legality of doing that kind of law, and are definitely concerned about the loss of revenue from that delay, which would not allow us to collect any penalties or to collect the taxes, because the towns still have to make the county whole by May 25th. And so, I'm sorry, but 60% of the taxes are due to the county May 25th. So the county, the supervisors were talking today and have concerns about it and have some alternatives they are going to suggest to the county as a way to move forward, because we're also a big concern about proving that hardship. There was no fast or exact requirement of what would prove hardship. And that could be a very difficult thing to administer town by town by town. So it's not clear what's going to happen going forward, but all of us, the important thing is the county and the towns are looking to figure out a way to give the taxpayers some relief and make it less painful to pay their taxes right now.
We are in our last couple of minutes, so I'm going to pose 2 questions to each of you and give you a chance to answer. And Lorraine, I'll start with you. What keeps you up at night, and what inspirational words do you have for us?
Everything keeps me up at night. Is the answer. I'm sleeping about 4 hours a night, and that's separated by 4 hours of insomnia. But the inspirational message is really, we have a really, really tight-knit community here. People watch out for each other. They're concerned for each other. I mean, as soon as this happened, the number of folks who stepped up and said, how can we help the businesses? How can we put together a volunteer group to make sure that the seniors are taken care of? We'll come out of this okay at the end. I mean, it's going to be painful. There's going to be, tragedy, and it's going to be a hard road, but we're going to come out of it because we all really work together.
Okay, Nancy?
What keeps me up at night is that Steve Altieri could get the coronavirus. And also the police department, fire department, or the sanitation. Those are the key departments that worry me the most. I'm knocking on wood. So far, everyone has been pretty healthy. But inspirationally, I'm finding inspiration when I see families out there riding their bicycles together, walking the trails, taking advantage of the beautiful community that we have, enjoying the parks. And even though, you know, you can't play with your friends and you can't play with another family, it is really nice to see folks getting out and appreciating our outside and our outdoors and some of our beautiful parks and conservation areas. So that, I think, is inspiring. And we are going to be okay. We've got lots of people who want to help. We're collecting masks at the town center if anyone would like to donate them there. And I think that, you know, in a few weeks' time that we're going to be over this peak and in a much better position.
Tom, you get the last word quickly.
What keeps me up at night is, you know, there are going to be worrying about that there are going to be people, and especially children in my community, who are going to be hungry, who are going to go to bed hungry, who are not going to have enough to eat. This is a very, very real concern. I think that as a community, there is too much wealth, there's too much affluence, there's too many of us that are still working to allow that to happen. I think that we have to concentrate on making sure people are fed and people are comforted. If people don't get enough nutrition, they're going to be more susceptible to this disease, which hurts us all. But there's no reason for a child in this community to go to bed hungry. If people are watching and they want to donate to some of the local, like the Larchmont Mamaroneck Hunger Task Force, please do that. Hopefully there'll be an icon on the screen later on for that. But, you know, I am positive that this community will respond. This community always responds. We're a community of caring people. We look out for one another, as Lorraine said, and I am sure that we will come out of this stronger. We will come out of this hopefully with a different perspective on what really matters in life is taking care of your family and your friends and your community. And all the other stuff is just, you know, ancillary nonsense that, you know, we're human beings and we got to look at each other as a human level and to try and relieve some of the vast suffering that's going to be going on here. You know, I don't want to sugarcoat it. This is going to be nasty. There's going to be people who are going to lose their lives. There's going to be people who are going to lose their jobs, and there's going to be people who are hungry. And for those of us who are able to, we really got to do everything we can to help those folks.
You know what, just want, Maura, we didn't also emphasize the fact that Tom, Lorraine, and I speak to the governor's office and the county executive on a regular basis, and amongst ourselves, we meet on a regular basis to talk about what's going on with school districts so that we are all working in concert to help the community.
And there are support services available, and it's on your websites as well as the school
Yes.
website.
Correct. Right.
Or
Thank you
if
all
I can
for
get
joining
in
us.
one last word and just say to thank you to everybody, but also invite all of you back. This was really, I think, beneficial to our community. We had a lot of questions that unfortunately we didn't have a chance to get to. So hopefully we can forward those questions over to each of you to answer respectively. And we'd love to have you back. So Maura, I'll kick it back over to you.
Thank you. I just wanted to tell everyone to stay home, stay safe, and stay healthy. And thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Take care, ladies.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.